Is this better? Hello? Is this better? There we go. That should solve it. Okay, let's start again. Yeah, I'm here. You can hear me. Okay, so I've had this domain name for years, like literal years, and I've always meant to do something with it, and I haven't. And I keep meaning to. I keep putting it off. I'm like, I'm going to build something with Laravel, and then I start, and I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered. So I refactor it, and then I'm like, got other stuff I got to do. You know how it is with side projects. So I'm going to build it in Astro because it's going to be a lot quicker, a lot easier, and that's just what I'm going to do. And if you haven't used Astro before, you can do the npm create Astro at latest, and it is a JavaScript framework. There's no PHP involved. No elephants were harmed during this live stream. And basically, you get this really nice, simple website. Okay, simple, and that's the kind of the key thing here. So if this is what it looks like, we've got a source directory of assets, components, layouts, pages. That's all we need. So this is a basic starter kit that you get, and it's going to be for the PHP Online project that I've been on about for years. So the first thing I want to do is I need to say, okay, I'm also going to want some content. And for my content, I've got to create I think it's content.ts. We'll ignore that one. And what we'll do is const collections equals define collection. Like this. So we're going to have this like that, and this type for profile is going to be content for now. We are going to move this later, but we'll get to it. And we're going to have a schema object, which is going to use Zod. Astro content dot object. Ooh, hey, it's good to know that my typos are cross language. I'd really just. Here we go. Let's put me over in this corner. Here we go. I'll go over here. So, JavaScript. Boo. Okay, so profiles. This is going to be like a person. So imagine this like any of you. It's your public profile. You have a name, which is going to be a z.string. You are going to have a you're going to want some sort of avatar. I'll do z.string there as well. You're going to have what could we have? What could we have? I haven't really thought this through. We're going to have things like a GitHub link. So z.string. I don't know if I can do like a, there we go, URL. We're going to have Twitter. And this will be optional. We are going to have optional LinkedIn. You can have a website. And bio Z string max of 160. So this is like a short bio. So we're going to call that like short bio, like so. And what we want now is a profiles. So what we can do here, we can create a new folder. This is going to be just Steve King, for example. In there, I'm going to have an index.mdx. That's not going to work because what I need to do is npx astro at latest add mdx. There we go. We're getting somewhere. So MDX just allows us to use components within Markdown, basically. That's the whole purpose of it, and it's just really, really helpful. That's going to install the dependencies. And we have this config here. So what we're going to want is we're going to want site. And I need to get like a default editor.config, right? So this is going to be for phponline.dev, something that I've had for such a long time. And I know it's ironic. I'm building this PHP website that is not built with PHP, but it's not the point. So we've got MDX. We're also going to add Tailwind because Tailwind's super important these days. Things have got to look nice. Yes, yes, yes. Install. Yes, yes, yes. And there's a couple of other things. So if I come up to Astro over here, for example, and I come over to integrations, I can come and look and see what I want to use. There's a sitemap, which is also super useful. So I can grab that. I'm going to want a sitemap. That will just happen automatically for me. MDX, I've added expressive code is meant to be really good, but I've never really tried it. I love this Astro icon package. It is just really helpful. You got access to like so many different icons. Starlight Nova Cell, no. Svelte. We are going to be using Svelte, by the way. I believe this is the one that I want, the SEO one. Yes. That's going to fail because what I want is PNPM. Copy that. Yes, we will use Shad CDN. CN. Why do I always call it Shad CDN? I don't know why. Okay, so that is the majority of what we need to start with. We are going to be using Shad, good old Shad. And what we want to do is install into Astro. All of that's done. npx Astro add Svelte. Yes, we want Svelte. Yes, that's fine. That's fine. Go back. Already added Tailwind. This will be our TS config. So we want to go and make sure that we add some compiler options for $lib, which is the kind of default for Svelte. Source styles. So we're going to go styles, and then we're going to add, what do they call it? App.css. Like so. Then in our main layout, we're going to import the styles, so layouts over here. So what we want to do is import that. Then we want to init. Here we go. We are getting there. Yes, we want that. Default. Source styles app. Yep. Tailwind config. Yep. Lib components. Yep. Libutils. Yep. Hooks. Sure. Components UI. Sure. Sorted. I don't know what hooks do. Something new and exciting. So that's all of that. That's all doing that. Then Tailwind, we want to not use the base styles. So that. And there we go. This is how we do front end these days, right? We just install a lot of stuff and call it done. Okay, updating that. Then we want to grab that inside of our Tailwind content. We're not going to have that. We're not going to have TSX. We're not going to have JSX or JS. We might have MD or MDX. We will have Svelte, and we will maybe have TS possible. And that's doing all of the stuff for us. And that's it. Then we can, I don't know, add a button. Make sure that works and make sure that installs. Ready to install. Yes. Button.svelte is now installed. So we've got everything we possibly needed. Let's just rebuild and come back to here. Ta-da, it's working. Okay, following collections have been auto-generated. Ooh, okay, so it's content.config.ts now, is it? Okay, content, rename. Okay, so let's come back to Astro. Get started, go to the docs. Hey yo, Laravel Jutsu. Okay, so what we want is they've changed their docs. Components, content, markdown, content collections. Here we go. You can define collections from a set of data that is structured similarly, directory of blog posts, blah, 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 blah. So let's just make sure we set everything that we need on here. TS config stuff. Strict null checks true. Allow JS true. Defining collections. Collection config. So, okay. So that's now moved. Fantastic. So this now needs to come out to that main part here. Define collection Z, files, 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 export, define another collection loader. Okay, so now I need to do it this way. Yeah, it's kind of like a directory site. It's basically the idea of it is that it will be everywhere. It will collect all of the things. MDX, base, source, content, profiles. Ooh, prodials? I don't know what I'm talking about there. Right, now let's see if that works. Okay, we got a broken thing. Awesome. So what we want, we have a name, Steve McDougall. Avatar is going to be my GitHub one. Then we're going to have our GitHub. So we can grab that. Then we're going to have short bio. I am Steve. But then we're also going to we're going to add our Twitter just because I know it's there. And LinkedIn. Steve McDougall. The rest of this will be the profile info stuff. And that should now not have any issues. And we're good. Content is being generated. Astro is just fantastic, right? I absolutely love Astro. And what I want to do is build a custom loader to load information from GitHub, a separate repo. but we'll get to that. So here's this part here. And what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to kind of work on the layout. So layout, here's our default layout here, which is a little bit crap. So let's go ahead and just remove those styles because don't need them, don't want them. That's fantastic. And what we're going to do is class h full body class min h screen font sans anti-aliased, and that's all I want to start with. Title will be passed in. A lot of stuff will be passed in. So let's come over to our integrations and go back to this SEO one. So if I just kind of import SEO here, what we want to do is basically, I'm pretty sure we don't need the title. No, the title isn't used. We do that. So let's just format that and let's have a look at it. So what's going to be passed in? We're going to want a title, a description, some form of Twitter information. We've already got that icon, but we'll just stick to the default. Twitter image, Twitter title, Twitter description. So all of that stuff is our default layout. So in our pages index, here's our layout welcome. Just remove that. Layouts, we're going to remove that and we're going to import layout using that. And we're going to import welcome like that as well. There we go. We got things started. A very descriptive title. Fantastic. What a beard. Okay, so the next thing, this without animation components. I absolutely love these. And if you have a look at my personal website, my new one, just steveking.com, apparently we're going to get a timeout. Here we go. You'll notice that I've got a few animations going on. I may have gone slightly overboard, but they work really well. And that's kind of what I want to be doing, having something fancy for the PHP community, basically. Like profiles, we could have profiles. So with components and Magic UI, we got all of these sorts of things that we can do. We can have profiles zooming across like this. Like, how nice would that be? Just something nice for the PHP community. Have these animated borders for things, box reveal stuff. Apparently a cool mode, so we can just say, ah! You just, send off some PHP elephants. But yeah, there's so much stuff that we could do, like flip text, gradual spacing, all of these kind of like little nice things that we could add to a website to make it cool. So what we need is close all of those, not layouts, not styles. We want types. Inside types, I'm going to have this index.ts, and I'm going to export type site like that. Now my site is going to have a title, which is a string, description, which is a string, and an OG image, which is a... I'm probably going to not make that nullable eventually, but we'll get there. And then we'll have like the default URL as a string as well. We're probably going to want the author as a string for the Twitter shares. And that should be it. So for now, Actually, we'll make one more. We're going to have an export default, no, export type metadata. This is like page metadata, so it's going to be very similar to the above. We have a title string, description string, and a potential OG image string. And then we're going to have a URL for a potential, actually, canonical string. There we go. Potential canonical URL in case it's pulling in data from somewhere else. So over here, we are going to make a config directory and an index.tx, and we will import type site from libtypes and export const site, which is a site. So we can do this. Title is going to be PHP online. Description is going to be some description to be filled in later. And we are going to have the URL, which is going to be https php online.dev. OG image, we're just going to say like, I don't know, og.png for now. And author is, I'm just going to put me for now. I can't remember if I've got everything else that I need. So that is that part. Then we're going to export const home as metadata. Title, homepage, description, homepage, description, OG image would just be that. That's the default. And canonical doesn't need to be in there. So now that we've got all of that in our layouts, we actually want to be pulling in some props. So interface props, title, string, description, string, OG image, string. Probably going to make that a default at some point. So then we can say const title, description, OG image. Also going to want canonical string there we go. Astro props is props. So there's our layout. So then down here, what we can do is swap that for title. Swap this for title. Apparently not. Title there. Description there. Image can be replaced here. Do that for now. Creator is going to be author. We'll get that in a sec. Twitter image we can replace as well. OG image or default. Then we're going to have the title and description. Right. So import site from config. Site title. Set the defaults like that. Site.description. Site.og image. And we're not going to pass authors in just yet. We'll worry about that a little bit later. So we could just say site.author there. We're going to extend icon favicon.svg. Meta stuff. So we are getting somewhere. Hello, thank you for joining me. We are doing some Astro, which is fun. Astro is like really, really fun to work with. You'll be surprised, actually. You'd definitely be surprised how nice it is to work with. That's the SEO stuff done. It's got all of the supported props. You can really dive in depth, and I probably will do at some point, but right now I'm just going to focus on getting stuff done. So come back to this index page, this main indexed page here. What we're going to want to do here is import home from config. Nope, not like that. Okay, we'll just have to home title and description. OG image is home.og image and leave it at that. Come over to here, home page. We are there. Awesome. So one thing I probably want to do quickly is let's go to Figma in the background. And let's just log in and grab what I need. I haven't logged in there. Have I logged in here? There we go. I've got Figma over here already. So index.php can't be beat. It can't. It is pretty good. That's not what I want. So let's come back to my files. This is where you're going to see all the crazy stuff that I work on. Here we go. This is the SVG I'm after. SVG Go. I can't remember the name of it. I can't remember. Right. Okay. Let's just focus on one thing at a time. So public favicon SVG, and let's just replace that favicon. And if I just restart the rebuild, hopefully that will now take effect and you might see it. No, not yet. Never mind. Okay, so here is that. And over here, what we're going to want, we've got all of that. Right, okay, so there's that welcome bit. Then we're going to have some sort of section, and this is going to be, I know we'll just call it like profiles, and we're going to have like an area labeled by profiles, and then within here we will have a component of some description. So this component is likely going to be one of these, and what I'm going to want is a marquee one, this bad boy, because I think it's going to be awesome. It will look awesome. So there's that example there, and here's a review card. I need to make sure I've got this installed. So Install that. That's done. And copy that. This is marquee.svelte. Components. There's all the UI stuff. So I'm going to create a just going to add it under magic because I believe that's a magic component. And we're going to have a marquee.svelte. Format that. Libutils. That should already be there. Let me just make sure that is all there. There we go, utils. Yes, that is already there. Fantastic. So I don't need that. Done the marquee. Tailwind config, we're going to have this animation going on. So down in Tailwind, theme, extend, not colors, borders, got keyframes, which we will need. Animations, here we go. Animation. And then keyframes. Let's add some keyframes. There we go. Let's just format that. That's all of that. We're also going to want this kind of review card, but that's just going to be like a profile card. So we're going to add that under components. And we will call that, I don't know, we'll just call that this app. And we're going to call it a profile card.svelte. Format that. All of that's now been formatted, so we can kind of just come and grab this marquee example if we want to. So, how to get started? For now, we're just going to grab that up here. And we're going to want to import those. So import marquee, import profile card from lib components app profile card as well. This is magic lib components magic marquee dot svelte. Then down here we will just kind of grab all of that rubbish and we'll just drop it in and see how it looks. I don't want an each. Okay, so we need to convert this to Astro from Svelte, which isn't a huge problem. Let's just do that. And we're just going to tidy that up. Tidy that up. So instead of having each, what we want to do is get the profiles. So we need that up the top. Oh no, we could just use first row and second row for now. Okay, so first row dot map item, and then we're just going to have this will be there. That'll be there. Then we're going to have this profile card, dropping the item into it. So profile card item done. drop that one. Let's just drop that down a row. So then we want second row dot map, get an item, and we're going to iterate over it with that. And there we go. We have got things loading, working, looking awesome. So instead of using these reviews, what I want to do is use something else. So this has got image, name, username, body. Okay, we can work with this. Let's just drop that back. And what we're going to want to do is have a const profiles equals await get collection profiles like that. And this will be a collection entry profiles like that. So first row can probably, we end up changing that to profiles dot slice. Ooh. Move this up like that. So then this is still going to be a collection of profiles like so. And so will that. Awesome. So these cards, we are going to have an avatar. Like so. Name. We'll add GitHub and a bio like that. And what we're going to want to do is just fan out item.data. No, GitHub is not defined. Okie dokie 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 dokie. GitHub and bio. Now let's see if we just say item.data. There we go. We got somewhere. F2 is refactor. I don't have an F2. I do not have an F2 button. Okay, maybe we'll go to here, and what we'll do is we'll have like a handle z.string. Can I do like a unique or okay, apparently not. We'll just do z.string. So just Steve King, something like that. And what we could probably do here is just have that and that like so. So that's not actually going to be a URL anymore. That's just like your Twitter handle and your GitHub handle, which means we can remove the actual handle. Handle is no longer needed. Because I could just get the GitHub like that. They will start to cycle through. And if we add another one, anyone in chat, give me something about you. So what we're actually going to have is profile card is going to be a short bio. I am Steve. Awesome. So that's doing that. That's doing that. Oh, we've got profiles loading. We can add more, etc., etc. Okay, so that's profiles. And what we're also going to want to do is things like companies and all sorts of fun stuff. So let's go have a look at like magic card is cool, but I don't want that. Simple card. Got a really cool bento grid. And I want a nice card. So maybe we need to look in indie, card with image, multi-layer. No, simple card. Here we go, nice simple card. Card comment. So many ideas. So many ideas of what we could actually do here. Boing. Maybe we'll build up our own sort of thing. Yeah, I think we'll just kind of figure that out as we go. So, okay, ignore that for now. Close all that down, drop the components. And we have some more content. So we've got profiles and we're going to have companies. Let's define a collection. Like so. Our loader is going to be very, very similar. But we're going to look for companies. And a company needs a schema of Z objects, which is cool. And right, company name. Company logo, z.string.url. My wife is coming in with a huge basket full of Christmas presents she's been wrapping. Crazy. Right, we want a URL for the website. And then we could probably copy a lot of these. We're just going to call it logo instead of avatar. Like that. Website's most likely not optional for a company. So over here, what we can do is come to content, create a companies, and let's create Laravel, for example. Index.mdx, name, Laravel. Logo is going to be GitHub github.com laravel.png. Then they want a github.com/Laravel. Twitter, I believe they are just Laravel PHP. LinkedIn, company Laravel. Website is Laravel. Short bio, the PHP framework for web artisans, like that. So we've got that going on. That's kind of cool. And what we want is a nice way to display companies. Companies. I love these hover cards. Like, something like this would be really cool. My wife just brought me in a drink. How nice of her. Install all that. That is all good. So then we have got companies. So we've got profiles and we've got companies. So far, so good. We've added that. And what we're going to do is let's just import hovercardy stuff. So let's go back to here. And this will eventually all get kind of refactored. Keep all the profile stuff together. Let's see what happens there. And then hovercard trigger, hovercard content. Let's just put this up here first. So section like that. One thing that I forgot to add is client visible on these components. Aha, root context. Link preview root context has, and no fallback was provided. Ooh, okay. Usage. Something funky happened there. Add hover card. Yes, overwrite everything. Yes. Is this now going to work? Okay, apparently that does not work. So bits UI link preview root context and no fallback was provided. I don't know what is going on. So why don't we Google it? These are specific to Svelte, these parts. So why don't we just look at bits UI link preview. Bits UI link preview. So getting started. I think we need to install bits UI. pnpm add as a dev dependency bits UI. pnpm dev. Let's see if that resolves the problem. Apparently not. Okay, so here's a hover card from bits UI. That is all installed. Link preview, yep. Hovercard primitive, yep. Hovercard content, Link preview. It should all be there, but who knows? Who knows? Right, okay, so for now, what we'll do is we won't worry about that. Instead, we'll just go get const companies. We're going to say collection entry as companies, get companies. So section, ID companies labeled by companies, because I think it'd be really cool to have just like a list of companies that use PHP, right? So then we can say companies dot map over each one. We'll get a company in there, and that company can then just say company dot data name, like that. Rerun that. I can probably remove that. Here we go. So we got Laravel. Okay, so progress. We got some data. We got some stuff going on. Time for me to have a drink. My wife brought me in an apple and raspberry J2O. How nice of her. Okay. So what we're mainly doing at the moment is getting organized, because this is going to be very much a somewhat dynamic website based on not user-generated content, but user-submitted content, because it'll all come into here through PRs, and that's all good. So let's take an example. What we can do is we will have jobs, for example. So companies, profiles, and jobs. Define collection. Like so. Loader. We're going to do the same thing here, but jobs. And then the schema z.object, like that. So job title, z.string. Job description, z.string. And we are going to have a max of 160. URL to apply. We will do something like salary is not optional. Remote z.boolean. Location z.string. Optional. So there we go. We got something somewhat basic there for a job. So in here, we could have like, I don't know, full stack developer at Laravel. Index.mdx. Job title will be full stack developer. Oh, pardon me. All right. So we'll have a full stack developer description, something like that. URL will be, I don't know, that. So this is really guessing. Salary, we'll put that. Remote, true, location, remote. And that's all well and good, right? Something like this. So if we come back to our index.astro page and we say, okay, so let's get all the jobs, const jobs. This is going to be a collection entry for jobs, await get collection jobs. Jobs does not exist, or yes, it does. Companies, jobs, jobs, jobs. Right, let's just rebuild that. And that should now be all okay. So then if we come back to here, for example, and what we'll do is we'll just kind of duplicate this and say jobs, hobs, jobs, that's a job, data, title, like that. So full stack developer. That's all awesome, right? But there's no link back to the company, and the company's already got their profile. So what we want to be able to do here is say the company. I can't remember how to do it. It might have changed in this version. Let me go back and check the docs. Content collections. Content collections. Defining collections. Okay. Built-in loaders. All of that good stuff's good. Content. Custom loader. Inline. Schema. There's a very specific way that you can relate things. Reference. There we go. That's what I need. Reference. So, company. Companies. Reference a single author, blah, blah, blah. Excellent. So then over here, what I can say is something like company Laravel. And that will all generate. And if I come back to my home page, like this, at job, data, company, collection. What does that give me? At object, my favorite place to work. ID, Laravel, collection companies. So there we go. So we can get that back through, but there is a way that you can actually query it. So querying collections, all blog posts, content in Astro, blah, 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 rendering content, contents props, filtering, accessing referenced data. Okay, so we can say this would have to be on some form of component, I think, for it to really work. Const all jobs is going to be jobs.map. We're going to get the job, and then what we're going to do is turn a new array using job data, but for the company, we are going to. Ooh, I don't know what happened there. We are going to await get entry, like that. Is it getting? No, it should be able to just get entry. Astro content. Get collection. Get entry. Like that. No overload matches this call. Okay, that's strange. There we go, we got there. So then if we come back to the home page, what we want to do is map over all jobs. I should now have JSON.stringify job, an empty object. Perfect. Don't do this to me. Right, okay, all jobs. JSON, what the hell are you doing? JSON.stringify all jobs. Okay, so that's just saying get lost, Steve. We'll worry about that later. We'll figure that part out. We'll probably create a specific component. Job.data.title. We'll worry about that one a little bit later. Yeah, TS server got stuck. Something's going on, right? Okay, so what we want to do is got jobs, got companies, we got profiles. Next up, what we want to do is see why my wife messaged. Oh, awesome. Some work to do. Okay, so lots of fun stuff going on. Just going to ignore the bits UI for now. And what we're going to do is content collections. Okay, so there are some specific new content collections you can use. So if you come down, there's lots of built-in loaders. Let's just close all of those off and see what that does. Content collections. Okay. Content loader API. Community and third-party loaders. Here we go. So you've got GitHub releases, Blue Sky, Feed Loader, Google Sheet Loader, Pocket Base, GitHub PRs, Airtable, GitHub Discussions, Obsidian. I haven't tried the Zen browser yet, actually. I'm still using Sigma. It's not perfect, but it's good. So like one thing that I like the sound of is like an Obsidian Vault or creating a custom one for content stored on GitHub, but there's all of these different sorts of loaders. So you can provide a blue sky loader. So load all blue sky posts for a specific person. And that's kind of cool, right? Other things that you get on new Astro is type safe environment variables, server islands, but all of this is going to be kind of static anyway. Then there's the experimental image cropping support, which is really interesting. I'm going to see how we can get on with that as well. Astro, actually, I think it's better than Nuxt, especially for static stuff. If you've got to log in and you need application state, Nuxt will win hands down. That's my opinion, obviously. One dude's opinion on the internet is never really worth much weight, but it's good. So there's our utils. We've got some content. So we've got our companies, jobs, profiles. We could do things like meetups, define a collection. There we go. And what we'll do is, for now, we're just going to create a random one here. So loader, we're going to say meetups, schema, set.object, meetup name, z.string, URL z.string.url. All of this is obviously subject to change. This is me dabbling. So description z.string.max 160. And the reason for the 160 is that this is the meta description. And because it's content, I can then add content outside of that, which can separately render for the page, which is all fun stuff. We don't need a logo or an image right now, so we're just going to stick with that. So then content, companies, jobs, profiles, and we will have meetups. And this will be things like PHP South Wales. Ooh, delete that. Rename, copy. We will delete that, and we want a new directory. And the reason I do directories over files is that as it gets bigger and more content's added, your directory, you get too many files, and then it's just messy. Just messy. Index.mdx. So the name is PHP South Wales, one I started years ago. We don't have an image, but we do have a description. I don't know where it's getting that information from, but it's pretty accurate. Okay, so we've got user groups. Fantastic. Then we can have, events. We can have podcasts. There's so much that we could do just to kind of gather all of this stuff from across the internet. One other thing that we could possibly add here is be really cool to add feeds, like RSS feeds. I know there's this feed loader. I just want to understand how it works. Releases.atom, that's fine. Podcasts, episodes. This one's going to be pretty handy, actually. So we will install that one because we're likely to pull in some stuff. we'll do that in a bit maybe. But we can. What I want to do is be able to pull in content from an RSS feed, like articles. I want to build up a list of RSS feeds and grab all the content for it. I don't know if there is something that I can do on here. Got to be a way to do it, is what I'm thinking. I might have to look into that one. So let's start the rebuild on that and make sure we aren't dying out. Apparently we are. Content collections. Strings must contain at most 160 characters. That would be this one. There we go. Hopefully that fixes it. And we're good so far. So the main point of this is that it's going to be a nice central place to get all of the information that you want about stuff. My eventual aim is if we come down to pages, for example, we can go to we'll have companies and we'll have I believe we've got a ... slug it. I think that's how you got to do it. Come back here. Guides, content collections, data fetching, component user, GraphQL stuff, community resources. It's like there we go. Come to pages, and we're gonna have link between pages, index, markdown pages, all good. Errors, partial pages. Using with a library. Is it in routing? Dynamic routes. Here we go. Okay, so I don't need the ... So I can rename this. And this is going to be, we want to import layout. Some title, description. So over here, we would end up going to companies, Laravel, for example. And we need to add this get static paths. So decoding, blah, blah, blah. Right. This get static paths stuff. Add content, markdown, content collection, data fetching. Is it on here? Oh, they've changed their docs. It's such a pain. Is it under tutorials then? Build a blog. Dynamic content. Reusable navigation. Layouts, custom blog layout. That's all good. You got your content there. That's under pages. So Okay, so I'm gonna have to do something here. So get static paths, routing reference, post ID, get static paths. So let's just copy this. This is going to be close to what we want. So we're going to get a slug coming in, which is useful. I wonder if would it be easier to pages, CD articles, and let's just cat slug. So here we go. This is roughly what we want to be doing. That. So this is from companies. Entry. Post entries is that. So we'll say companies. And then we're going to return companies.map. So there's entry ID. Then down here, we should just be able to say content. Hopefully that should solve it. I'm using the new version of Astro, so things could have changed slightly. Let's go and reload that. Entry render is not a function. Perfect. Okie dokie. Props, paginate. I don't know how to paginate unless it's changed. Guides and recipes. Markdown. We're meant to be able to render it. Astro files, blah, blah, blah. That's not what I want. Render. Container API. Content collections. Wait, render. Entry. Okay, so slightly changed, which is fine. It's all good. All good. Content. And this now comes from Astro content. So hopefully now that should display something. Apparently not. So that's going to give me content back. Astro component factory. Why does it have to change? It's just making it difficult now. So I can then do this, filtering, accessing referenced data. Rendering body content, published on. That should just be working. To be honest, so it could just be this is Laravel. There we go. We got something. It's all the way up there. It's pretty well hidden. There we go. We do have it. It is loading. Right. Okay. So we've got profiles. Again, we'll be able to render that content. And, you know, if you want to come and manage your profile information, it's a PR away. Companies can add their company information. Events, we're just going to add a .keep there. Jobs, meetups. I'm going to keep podcasts for now. Profiles. So all of that's fine inside this content directory, and I'm going to keep it that way. Yeah, I think that's most of it, but obviously you can take it so much further. I mean, if you just look at all of the integrations that are available, it is crazy. So let's say we want an OG canvas component, for example. I want to have an OG canvas. So I'm going to have to install this WASM script quickly. Then we're also going to want to install the OG canvas, pnpm add that. Then we're going to create this pages under Open Graph. Pages, new folder, Open Graph. Then we create this kind of .rooty root thing. And then what we'll do is we're just going to grab all of that, drop it in there. This is roughly what we're going to be working with. So we can list pages in there. Alternatively, if you want to use collection entries, you can do that and use get static paths, generating pages from markdown files. And there's Pokemon API example, get collection, blah, 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 results Pokemon. You can really just dive deep into it. We are going to use this as an example, I think. So my collection, instead of that, we're going to use profiles. So profiles, map over that. Const pages, go do that, export. Okay, let's just stick to that and we'll just call that profiles for now. There we go. So it will convert that to that, allowing us to filter and do that, basically, I think. OG image root. There's something I'll play around with a little bit, but the idea is that I can dynamically generate Open Graph images based on the profile, based on the company, and it's all just going to look nice and be pulled together quite well, is the idea. So I think I'm going to call it a day there. That was a lot of fun. Lost my terminal. Here we go. Git status. We're just going to git add, git commit am, and we're going to say building up the content schemas. And I'll push that up shortly. So we are done. An hour and a half in, and we've got a good scaffold using Astro and Svelte for building our user submitted content website. And next step is to pull the content to a separate repo so it can be managed separately from the website. So we can kind of control it a bit better in terms of merging it in. We can do due diligence. Everyone's adding profiles. That's great. Companies adding jobs. We want to make sure that that company owns that job and that we're not just allowing spam. Disputes, and then the website's managed separately and just kind of redeployed to pull it all in, and away you go. Wow, that bottle feels small. Okay, thank you all for joining. Thank you for hopefully enjoying it. Make sure to like if you like the video. Obviously, subscribe to help me out. Make me feel like I'm not just kind of talking to myself anytime I'm on camera. Drop a comment if you've got some feedback, if you've got ideas. I'm going to probably be tweeting and blue skying the whole the repo link at some point. So make sure to go check that out on Twitter and Blue Sky at Just Steve King. Anything else? No. Stay awesome. Catch you all next time. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not. I don't know. Keep an eye on Twitter. My schedule's kind of all over the place at the minute. So stay awesome, stay safe, stay happy. See you later. Bye-bye.